Think about this for a second. What if I told you that you've already lost most of the fights in your life, without ever throwing a punch? Not because you're weak, but because you reacted. And the moment you react, you hand over the remote control of your life to someone else. Today, I'm going to say something that kills egos. You are not strong when you get angry. You're not strong when you raise your voice. You're not strong when you need to respond. You're exposed. The second someone can trigger you, they've found your frequency. And once they know it, they can tune you in whenever they want, emotionally, mentally, even physically. Your body? Use the vehicle. Your muscles? Use the armor. The real war happens in the mind. And most people lose it before they even know there was a battlefield. Ego whispers hola. Every disrespect needs a response. Silence equals weakness. But here's the truth most can't swallow. The one who responds gets trapped. The one who stays silent rises above. Notice what happens when you're provoked. Heart rate spikes. Jaw clenches. Vision tunnels. In that moment, you feel like you have to do something, or you'll look weak. But that feeling? That's the cage closing. Because you've already lost control. And anyone who loses control loses the fight before it starts. Ego screams, prove yourself. Discipline whispers, ignore it. Ego is always loud. Discipline is always silent. Ever notice how the calmest person in the room feels the most dangerous? That's because they don't react, they choose. They don't need to prove anything. Their silence creates pressure. Their stillness creates fear. Power doesn't announce itself. It waits. It is what they don't tell you. Real strength isn't built in the gym. It's built in the moment you refuse to be who you used to be. Destruction doesn't mean breaking someone else. It means killing your old identity. The version that needs validation. The version that craves respect. The version that panics when ignored. When that identity does, you become free. And the free person cannot be controlled. Most people live the same script their entire lives. Disrespect. Reaction. Regret. Again. And again. And again. Because no one taught them that the real win is refusing to play. That dominance is quiet. That restraint is power. Let me be clear. Anger isn't wrong. Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it's fuel. But uncontrolled anger? That's not energy. That's a leak. It clouds your judgment. It blinds you to moves 3 steps ahead. Calm makes you precise. Calm makes you dangerous. The world doesn't fear loud people. It watches the silent ones. Wielding a strong body is simple. Lift weights. Eat right. Show up. But building a mind without ego? That's brutal. It means tearing yourself apart. Destroying the image you've been protecting. Letting go of the need to be seen, liked, or approved of. That's where most people quit. Because killing the ego feels like death. But here's the secret. The person who kills their ego becomes untouchable. You can't provoke someone who has nothing to prove. You can't manipulate someone who doesn't need validation. You can't control someone who's already free. So the next time someone tries to pull your strings, remember this. They're not trying to beat you. They're trying to control you. And the moment you refuse that control, you've already won. No noise. No reaction. No fight. That's real power. That's real dominance. And that level? Reserve it for very few. Most will never reach it. Because most would rather asterisco feel strong for 5 seconds. Then asterisco be strong for a lifetime. Let me tell you something about real fighters. The ones who've been in actual war, not Instagram arguments, not parking lot drama, asterisco real war. They don't talk about it. They don't flex about it. They don't need to remind you. Because they've seen what happens when control is lost. They've watched men fall because emotion won over discipline. Asterisco that changes you. It teaches you that survival doesn't belong to the loudest. It belongs to the asterisco most calculated. It is what separates boys from men. Asterisco boys react to disrespect. Asterisco men question if it's even worth their energy. Boys need the world to know they won. Men don't care if anyone knows, asterisco they know. Boys collect enemies. Men collect asterisco peace. It is a test. Next time someone disrespects you, and they will. Asterisco do nothing. Not because you're scared. Not because you're weak. But because you're asterisco choosing not to give them power over your state of mind. Watch what happens. Watch how uncomfortable asterisco they become. Watch how your silence forces asterisco them to fill the void. Watch how asterisco they lose control trying to get a reaction out of you. Asterisco that's when you realize asterisco. You were never in a fight. Asterisco you were in a test.